Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Hope you're having a fantastic day, or had, by the time you see this, a fantastic day, and a swell week. Thank you to all my current subscribers, new subscribers, subscribers in contemplation, pending, everyone that is here, or if you're not a subscriber at all and you're just listening, appreciate you. Check out the description box. We are officially in the home stretch of the summer soul sale, of which obviously I have decided to keep going through the rest of the official summer, which would be about up until summer solstice, fall equinox, sorry. Not trying to go back in time now, or even though certainly it would be nice to have maybe that's a thing, a redo of summer. That would be actually really nice. It may, well, I was about to say maybe not in terms of the weather, but it depends. Like maybe some folks are going to be traveling in the fall as opposed to what would typically be, some holiday through the summer, actually vacationing through the summer. And you wouldn't be disadvantaged to do so, I would say personally, because first of all, this past summer was a scorcher everywhere in places that it usually isn't. It was a bit chaotic. Everybody's moving around in the summertime, at least where I live, more or less. So to maybe run it back and spin the block through the fall would be ideal, to have the best of holiday without the worst of it, without the crowds and high prices, exuberant rates just because it's summertime. So, I'm with it. Come through, spirit. I'm definitely with that, and maybe you are too. But anyway, Summer Soul Sale, 1111 questions, and also personalized prayers composed for your specific manifestation intentions. All in the description box below. Hit me up if you are interested. All right, let's see what we got. Queen of Cups, okay. The Queen of Cups kind of looks like she's at the beach, right? At some shore or another. But the Queen of Cups is definitely, she could be the object of affection. Maybe you are the object of affection for someone. She could be a mother for sure. Could be, it definitely represents emotional intelligence, intuition, love, high on the love frequency and energy here. Pureness of heart is what I'm hearing. Wow, with the Ace of Swords. That's a confirmation if I ever, yeah, so it's definitely something specific about having a pure heart space. Maybe even, there's something about, because I'm seeing it, like hearing it, but how do I say it? It's something about this purified heart space being the source of some type of visions with this Ace of Swords. But it's like, well, I guess it could definitely, you know, in a practical sense, double down on the emotional intelligence, but even more so, I would say, on some type of psychic capabilities or some heightened intuitive senses with the Ace of Swords. Because this could be like telepathy on, you know, a supreme or a celestial level. And someone that is highly sensitive in such a way that their channels are purified in such a way that they are extremely conducive to telepathic messages or telepathic frequencies, and that transmits through their senses, which is a lot of women in general, you know, just naturally without even trying. But certainly those, when we're talking about, I was sure to emphasize a pureness of heart, which could even be just like being emotionally balanced, cleansed of the residue of trauma and toxicity as much as possible. You know, if there is ever such a thing as being entirely cleansed, I'm not sure, but this is definitely an energy that would come very close if that would be the case. And what I'm saying here, to be so, wow, what? To be so open to these high levels of communication and energetic this is like, damn, what is this? It's like a electrical chart, like okay, so it's just somebody's very so it's not just a matter of it being somebody being a channel. It's almost like this is like an antenna. That's what this is confirming. Like somebody is like a human antenna for celestial frequencies, you know, maybe higher level, a high level of knowledge or information, could be also known as spiritual downloads, maybe even visions, prophecies. Because what this also definitely doubles down, well, what it also indicates is it's not just a matter of being able to perceive and hear, sense, but also the activation of whatever the messages may be, like being able to put it into action or initiate, whether it's a directive or to even just incorporate that knowledge and wisdom into your daily life is a power as well. If it doesn't get exposed, expelled, shared, or transmitted to anyone else, you know, it just really could just be as simple as hearing a word, sensing, you know, being able to discern, which is a big one, the nature of that frequency. Because as a channel and certainly as an antenna, you could be magnetic, or what did I say? Like, I guess I could say magnetic to all types of frequencies. So to be able to discern what you're sensing is truth and pure passion, you know, and pure power, and then to activate or assert that transmission, my God. That's the reason for the cleansed heart space, because you would need to kind of be in that frequency to, first of all, be a channel and be an antenna, to be a bit of a sponge of the best of things, but also knowing what to ring out. You know, that could also kind of get entrapped in that wave of information or in that wave of frequency flow. So this could even be like a directive for those that are particularly telepathic, sensitive, empathic as well, to find your way to some water, and or definitely be very intentional about the ways that you cleanse yourself, whether it be a spiritual bath, a spiritual shower. I'm even hearing like a yoni steam or a yoni cleanse as well, especially since it's so feminine intensive here. Drinking a lot of water, good water, you know, alkaline if you can, but certainly, you know, the purest water you could get your hands on. Yeah, again, just keeping that channel as pure as possible, because there's something powerful going on here. Whoa, for sure. And that might be why I was, you know, kind of emphasizing, well, I was being drawn to channel the idea of vacationing. And it feels like, you know, maybe it's even a vacation with purpose, you know, that certainly there's the rest, the rejuvenation aspect of it, maybe even regeneration and enjoyment for sure, you know, fun and all that good stuff. But there's also something very purposeful about maybe finding your way into an environment that is going to not just regenerate you and rejuvenate you, but maybe even supercharge you. Like being near salt water or natural bodies of water, like maybe going on a retreat or going to some peaceful space, but definitely still emphasis on the fun with the Ace of Wands. Maybe it's something that does invoke some level of excitement or passion, but it's definitely given, you know, to prioritize nurturing yourself in every way you can afford to do so, whether it be at home, whether it be a staycation, whether it be some exotic destination or tropical destination, whether it be somewhere domestic that just brings you joy and peace and tranquility, or even inspires you, or someplace where you can gain a new sense of education or learning, somewhere you've never been before, that enlivens your senses in that way. But there's something here about it being empowering for maybe perhaps what lies ahead. You know, for many, ideally the summer would have been the best time to have those experiences, but maybe you were working through the summer or healing through the summer, or there were a lot of, like I said, a lot of summer energy was a bit chaotic in many ways, and you didn't quite get the opportunity to holiday the way that you would have liked to. You still have that opportunity now, if you can, of course. But like I said, it doesn't have to be in any extravagant way. It could just be every weekend making sure that you do something fun, something even like what's the right word, like decompressing or cleansing or regenerative or rejuvenate. Something like that is really important not to take for granted or to dismiss. Because this is powerful right here. And it's given that it's not just a matter of like kind of putting you back together, maybe even emotionally, from what you have overcome in the past season, whether it was summer or just over the past year, and or preparing you for things to get busy, you know, for you to be activated in some new way, you know, for your energy to be for it to be what's the right word, like in demand in a new way, you know, maybe in the fall, maybe by the end of the year, probably most certainly by the top of the new year. I get the sense that someone in a frequency such as this has a lot to look forward to, where your passions, your expertise, your sensibility, your will, you know, like your focus and drive is going to propel you forward in ways that after a certain point may not be so easy to like to slow down, but in a good way, because this all feels positive, but that may be the significance of finding the time and the opportunities to vacation while you can, because it feels like life is about to take an accelerated I don't know, direction. Yeah. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna leave that there. We're gonna just go with these three and see what we got here. Chariot, that's also Cancer. Yeah, so that's, again, that's emphasis on the home, what you create for yourself, and also you being at home with yourself and your identity. Yeah, so it might even be that this acceleration of or this intensity of an upgrade, whether it be telepathic, energetic, and passion and wisdom, whatever this is getting ready to be, is it's something that is it may be more of something that starts to drive you more than maybe you've had control to drive it, you know, to kind of like micromanage how advanced you were, or in some ways, and how I'm sensing it is this, it's like this may be the acceleration that you have always even desired to have to some degree, but it's been more steady and even more and more of a controlled disbursement before, you know, maybe even resisted in such a way that kept it from all downloading at one intense disbursement, or I don't know how I'm trying to say that, what it is that I'm feeling, but the Chariot card coming up as it is just making me feel like who you're being evolved to be by these energetic upgrades. It's like, since it's frequencies that you've already been conducive for, you've already been conducting, but the intensity of the voltage that now is about to be transmitted is something that is a new normal. As a new normal is going to be a cause for adjustment. It's like who you may have been in a very demure sense, not even to be funny, energetically, may be about to get leveled up in such a way that it's almost like, like a chariot taking off, and there's really no way to stop that trajectory until it's reached its destination, like horsepower type of energy or horsepower speed, when you were kind of used to just walking along, that disparity of velocity. But it feels more like the velocity that you are inhabiting. So it could even be like the frequency of telepathy, like how often you hear messages or channel information or just get visions out of nowhere that have a significance, or you might even be one to have like inspiration that's just like, that frequency of energy that will hardly even let you sleep. You're so excited about new downloads or new ideas or aha moments of how to execute maybe information that's downloaded in ways that it's like, it's not like a torment, like, oh, I can't sleep, like a tormented soul, but it's like you're so energized by what you are now conducting as a conduit of these forces, that it's like you almost can't settle until you release it or put it to work, put it to use, maybe write it down, record it, create it. Like it's giving mad scientist vibes, but without the madness. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I mean when I'm saying it's like a new normal, where maybe you got a couple downloads a day, or you saw, everything has meaning more or less, or connects to your senses in some subtle way, but it's like somebody's turning up the volume on your vitality, and now everything is like super sensational, from your perspective anyway. And at that point, it's like there's no turning back. That's a reality that now you get to settle in with and make yourself at home with, and allow it to be made at home with you, because we're only 3 cards in, 4 with the 1 under, but I'm sensing that it's not something that you can backtrack from once it is so. Like you'll never be able to go back to being uninspired or having a quiet force field or a quiet mind or visionless experiences again. Whereas maybe you might want to at some points in time, which again is the emphasis on the holiday, the vacation, the peace and quiet, and steadying yourself, grounding yourself while you have the opportunity to, because it seems like not only is this energy going to be commanding in a sense of your creativity, it also may heighten the demand on your creativity from the inside out and from the outside in. So take that as you will. It's all good though, it really is. And depending on who you are, like I said, you more or less have asked for this, but the way in which it's being released I don't think anybody would quite prepare for, because it's beyond the normal that you're used to operating in. Like, you could never have a point of reference for this, you know, literally being sandwiched in by the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands. You could never, as a very sensitive being already, as the Queen of Cups, you can never prepare yourself for this level of sensitivity with no point of reference otherwise. Not in this lifetime. So, interesting. Wow, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It will be worth it. There's plenty of value in it. I'm gonna actually move this up so I could get an extra card down here. There's plenty of value in it. You will exhibit a greater sense of value for yourself, and also your personal stock will rise on account of this upgrade. Maybe this new knowledge that you have access to, or new energy or power that you've been able to resource and conduct, you know, it materializes in a very profitable way, and is sensational in the ways of success by your own standards, and also recognizable from the outside looking in. Like, you may become like I said before, it's a command and a demand on your creativity from the inside out and the outside in. This is being recognized for the value that you possess. Well, for the value that you are, let's just say, you know. But I said possess for a reason, so there probably is certainly an emphasis on who's in that crowd, like being discerning about how you exchange this new energy, and being clear about what the nature of that demand may be on your time and on your gifts, your talents, your resources, or even on you as a resource. But I mean, I've said that so many times. I guess it never goes without saying, especially to anybody that can relate to being a Queen of Cups energy, where you're naturally nurturing and compassionate, maybe even empathic. I think I already said that earlier, where you naturally want to love and to give and to be graceful and kind and all of those good things. You know, there's definitely an extra care for security measures of what you're given to, how much so, and who's taken and who's adding value, if any, and, you know, even the nature of the investments that you make, or the offerings that you make that you have no expectation for a return on. They're still being very mindful about the nature of all of that to protect this vitality at all costs, because clearly it's very valuable, and you wouldn't want it to be depleted in any diabolical way, or in any way that you defer to on your own accord, mainly for the purposes of it being of value to those that it actually is assigned to, or for whatever it is assigned for. Because certainly nobody's empowered to this degree for nothing, you know. So to be selective is the point, I believe. Isn't it always, though, lately? I feel like I'm always saying that in a message at some point. Maybe because we just aren't used to being so. Like I said, when you're used to giving more than you receive, because as a Queen of Cups, like, you naturally typically feel more satisfied giving than you even do with the expectation to receive, or for there to be a reciprocation of at the level of which you're willing to give. So it's something about, like, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, not so much. She's a bit more practical in her reasonings, where I said offering, and she is generous, but investment is the operative word. You know, being clear that everything gets to be reciprocal if you say so. You never have to settle for nothing in return, especially on the grounds of because it's just some benevolent thing to do. Now, charity is one thing, and that's also at your own discretion and discernment. But where there can be an exchange, and even with charity, that for such an energy as this, the exchange, the return is the feeling of benevolence, of knowing that you're doing something that matters for people that deserve it and that need it, and hopefully that will appreciate it. But where there is opportunity for exchange, don't shortchange yourself in that expectation, especially on account of being nice about it. Those times are over. All right, we got the yeah, exactly, because this is a lot of the energy that's out here that will pretty much take whatever it is that you offering with no problem at all and be right on their merry little way, energized from what, you know, they were able to procure from your force field, or from your auric field, maybe even from your resources, from your gifts, from your talents, from your knowledge, from your passion. Literally could be from your sensual energy, certainly from your love, you know, from your heart space. Like, all of that gets to be protected at all costs from energy such as this, that are just more or less kind of showing themselves to be unreliable, you know, not available for commitment, or you know, maybe even insecure. And at the lowest frequency, lustful, you know, and lustful in a perverted, passionate sense. Not like lust is altogether bad, because honey, I want a little lust in my love, if you please. But those that are just driven almost exclusively by lust. They see it, they want it, they don't care what they have to do to get it. They don't have any intentions on really being, you know, fair in the exchange for it. It's just all satisfying or sensually satisfying. No, absolutely not. Yeah, with the Two of Wands here, which, you know, this is the intention of the plan, to almost seek to devour or to conquer, to procure the satisfaction of their passions at all costs. Like, I ain't even giving that much more life. Because of course there could be an upside to that, you know, there's a drive of passion with no inhibition that is well grounded with a plan. That's the other side of it. But I'm feeling the sensation more about being conscious of the opposite of that energy, because I'm certain that there is much more of it, especially in that Six of Wands crowd, than there may be of those that really just see an opportunity, or are inspired by whatever it is that you do, or however it is you present yourself, and want to connect with it and bring value to it. Even if it's a bit underdeveloped value, there's still, you know, a more or less positive intention, like pretty good intentions at the core of it. Just maybe, you know, some immature approach or reliability there. Like, for instance, like a young entrepreneur, you know, or someone that has a great deal of passion for what they do and they do it well. But they may not necessarily have all the kinks in their plan and their projections ironed out, but you may have the resources, the capital to invest in such a potential. It really comes down to discerning like what's worth the risk for you, you know, or whether or not this is such as an offering where you're willing to take the risk in such a way and the chance on potential that you wouldn't have an expectation for a return. Like, there's something about having the power now or soon to be able to make those major choices that it makes a big difference for how you maintain your own fortune, you know, and frequency. Because it doesn't have to be limited to material like money, of course, like giving people the keys of knowledge that you have worked hard for, you know, or that you protect, that you covet. Everybody is not trustworthy with that information. Not everybody that wants it, desires to know what you know, is necessarily looking to do something productive with it, or is even mature enough to know how to assert it, you know, in a prosperous way. Same with the passion, you know. You just got to be mindful of what you're giving out. Not to gatekeep in the sense where, you know, like you don't want nobody to have it but you. But yeah, here we go. It's getting even younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course the Page of Wands is more or less a pretty positive card. It's about new adventure and a new opportunity, and even new inspiration or experiencing yourself in a new way. So back to that emphasis on the new normal that's being cultivated through this upgrade, maybe even through this initiation, I just heard, or initiated through the upgrade. Something about initiation here, I just heard that. But again, definitely considering your audience or your trusted sources or whatever this energy is presenting itself to be, and the capacity to even hold the charge that you conduct. Maybe that is up to you to decide as the conduit of it, as the conductor of it now at this point. Whereas that was kind of left up to the divine who gets what. There's something here about you being entrusted a great deal to govern that energy accordingly by way of governing yourself according to a very high standard. And whatever this is, it's going, yeah, here we go. Exactly. This is confirmation. And independent, self-sufficient, secure, well-established, spiritually and materially. This covers all those bases. Very high self-esteem here, but highly esteemed as well. Again, for what's been achieved here in spirit and in flesh. So yeah, you're somebody's a gatekeeper in the best way, like in the most graceful expression of that term, not in the old world way that we're used to and that we despise. You know, this is different. This is really like like keeping safekeeping creation in some way. Because what you may possess or are about to possess is for the advancement of creation, but not in the wrong hands. In that regard, it could be to the detriment of evolution itself. And for some reason, there's a great emphasis on, man, that's pressure. That's pressure to have to, wow. That's pressure to be the one to, or be one of the ones to operate in that authority. No wonder, like, yeah, get your rest now. Because imagine you having to see through. What I'm getting is it's like people coming to glean from you in ways that seem harmless, that seem bright-eyed, and that seem to have a great deal of promise and potential. And in some ways they absolutely could be, considering the children that we need to advance and the younger generation that we get to enhance, with our wisdom and knowledge, and be enhanced by from the top down as well. But from where you sit and what you are assigned to do, to be solicited by such energies, of which, as I said, are absolutely what they present themselves to be, and also by those that are nothing of what they present themselves to be, that appear to be harmless and appear to be eager in a progressive way, but really at the core have malintentions or wish to take the information and do damage with it, even unto themselves, which is ultimately what it will fare to be, is that someone will probably damage themselves using accessing this high level of power and energy. Now at this point, it's like you playing with fire, or literally playing with knives. You know what I mean? Like, you will get hurt if you don't have clearance for this frequency. Yet and still, there's some responsibility and accountability on the keepers of it to be more woke than ever before. As I said, like, you've been used to kind of just going about life ho-hum, giving to whomever asks, not really looking for anything in return, to now I'm surprised, like, the Queen of Swords isn't out here to have, or even the Queen of Wands to have, which, I mean, the representation is here on an even higher frequency, I would say, but that's kind of what you need to channel in now, to be protective and objective and discerning, without too much of a waver on what you share at this point, because I don't know, it's too sensitive to not be so careful, or too sensitive to not be so secure. And here's another page. Cups. Page of Cups. Yeah, it might even be begging you for, put, like, really energies putting themselves in the frequency of desperation, like, and flattery, like pulling out all the stops. And if this is anybody's poison, this is the Queen of Cups. To have a Page of Cups grovel at their feet or beg for their, I don't know, for their influence in some way. I don't know what they're begging for. They're I guess that would be the pulling on the heartstrings, like to beg for their empathy or their sympathy. What's on the bottom? Oh, Lord have mercy. I know, I be knowing what I feel. I know what I feel. The Ten of Swords, like, no, that's an entrapment. And it's like the responsibility now, you're empowered with this great information and even this high level of security to avoid such traps. Now it's like, it's not just on you, it's in you. No wonder. No wonder. Because imagine like a little kid, like it's like kid assassins. You know what I mean? Like, Lord Jesus, I hope ain't nothing on that I'm speaking. But it's like young people. Even the Knight of Wands is young. But that could be a strategy though to weaponize really innocent energies at the core of it all that have been corrupted in some way to be like mercenaries. What does that mean exactly? I don't know, but now it's getting weird. I don't even want to go any further. Either way, it's like that would be a great strategy for a Queen of Cups if she was just the Queen of Cups. But the Queen of Cups with high level knowledge and high level security and confidence and high value in her, in her own esteem, isn't so easily influenced or manipulated, I guess I should say, in this regard, to be lured into a trap. Damn, I don't know what turn this just took. What is that? Oh, look, the sun. Yeah, no, that's not. Way too evolved at this point. All right, let's see. Because I want to get a few more. I'm going to take that. What is that? Wow, the Lovers. Because of how that popped, I don't know if you saw that because I don't think I was up far enough in the camera, but it kind of came out like this and sat on the top of the deck. That I had to take it, Yeah, like too evolved. That at this point in time, like there's really not a lot of room for the era of like goodness for goodness sake. Unfortunately, like that sounds wild, but I think you know what I'm saying if you know what I mean? Like there's charity, there's benevolence, there's kindness, but I'm talking about like goodness to the point of self-sacrifice, like martyrdom. Like, well, I'm the Queen of Cups, I'm supposed to be good-willed and good-natured and give to all those, or even taking the route of like deferring the power that's ultimately being bestowed upon you, as I said, to be a bit of a gatekeeper and discerning, and let the divine correct your decisions as needed. But it'd be better to be safe than sorry, like to be too protective, too secure, too what's the right word? Not paranoid, but cautious than it would be to be naive and any of the energy that would come with the opposite of all of that. You know what I mean? To want to be so emotionally impressionable and influenced that you almost feel like you shouldn't, like you have this, you're supposed to give, or what I didn't say that I was gonna say is like you defer the responsibility that's been bestowed upon you to almost like resist it, like, well, I shouldn't be the one to decide. I shouldn't be the one to protect or secure. Like, everyone should be privy to this. Not according to this Lover's energy. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's up to the divine to decide, and that sensibility will also, that knowledge and discernment will also be filtered and transmitted through your senses to know exactly who's who and what's what and how to engage. That's the point of it all. So to just kind of throw it up in the air like, oh, like anybody's, all are welcome. I don't think that's the point here. No. Not when there are good magicians and bad magicians on the loose. Like, the light is not the only energetic force that is empowered, you know. And like I said, I still feel like anyone with malintentions will ultimately hurt themselves, but you don't want to give nobody no ammunition, no bullets in their gun. Let them get their hands on that in their own right. You know what I mean? If possible. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's perfect and that anyone's intuition or discernment is foolproof of mistake or misinterpretation or whatever, but like I said, it's better to be safe than sorry. And to know, you know, the brotherhood and sisterhood upon sensation of it. I was going to say on sight, but like I said, it can't even be left up to sight, because who the hell knows? Like, if you got a damn child approaching you that looks innocent and you just want to take them in and feed them and clothe them and give them some candy and tuck them into bed, and then before I ain't even going to say what I was going to say. And end up being a Annabelle situation, which I think is a doll. So there's that. But a doll, and that 10 of Swords showed up. Yeah, no. And magician. It's people out here that are pledging themselves to almost be like human voodoo dolls. So obsessive for the possession of power that they can't seem to get their hands on or to maintain a possession of. That means that people are willing to sacrifice themselves at all costs just to have access to what they, you know, are obsessed with. And that could even be with you. Now that we're talking about it, you could be, I said, the object of affection. On the other side of that, it could be the object of obsession, which means that people could go to great lengths to try to catch you in your blind spot or where you're most vulnerable to capture and captivate your attention. Oh, I don't like the energy I felt off of that. No way, Jose. Oh, and this is in reverse. Wow. I mean, I could take it up right, but I'm going to take it fair how it flipped. Well, at least how I picked it up. So this is the energy of those that want to just, they don't want a cycle to end and a new beginning to commence. They want to be able to still keep, to captivate attention and power by any means necessary. This is their obsession, you know, to keep the world and keep creation from evolving beyond the grips of a controlling force that doesn't mean creation any good. It only means to serve itself. Wow, with the King of Cups, that's interesting. What's this here? The Two of Pentacles. Yeah, this is an imbalanced masculine force, though. like I said, emphasis on the pureness of heart in the very beginning. This is not that. This is the appearance of balance with the King of Cups, the appearance of having it all together, being well controlled, tempered, healthy, all that good stuff, even caring, kind, compassionate, and loving. But at the core of it, there's some emotional imbalance, maybe even psychological imbalance here, to be so obsessed with the possession of power and control at all costs, even at the cost to themselves, like literally to be on a suicide mission if need be at this point. And I don't know how this got flipped up this way, but let's finish it off and get the hell out of here. Because it's still more about the power that you possess to me. Yeah, because that's not going anywhere without enlightenment. It's just as stuck as the world in reverse. You know, where those that refuse to be enlightened and empowered in a new, in a purified passion and a new way of being, to get in line with where, you know, the world is evolving, to submit to a supreme spiritual nature of anything beyond the low frequency they've been possessed by. Like, this is the only portal of safe passage, is to be enlightened from ground zero, pretty much. There's no other safe passage forward. If anything, the intention to keep this cycle in reverse or in you know, regressive, is where those energies are going to remain stuck and cycling over and over again. It's not happening the way that they think, where it's like, I'm going to hell and I'm taking everyone with me. No, you just going to hell. Nobody's coming with you. It'll be you in your own personal hell, probably on earth, in the flesh, literally watching everyone else have a heaven experience, or anyone that, you know, is privileged to it, of course. So, like I said, left to its own devices, it'll destroy itself until it gets sick and tired of being sick and tired, and hopefully he, she, whatever, will get the enlightenment that it so desperately needs, more than it needs power and possession, and finally turn over that leaf for a new beginning. That's, of course, the prayer and the hope, yeah, to advance forward with everything and everyone else. You know, I believe that's the you know, that's the greatest desire of the universe, you know, on its highest frequency, source of all, would want all of its creation, of its true creations and true descendants, to be redeemed and reclaimed and revived into their original being, into their organic organism, that of which has been corrupted over time. But if it certainly is the affinity of the divine, then it's definitely possible, no matter what the circumstances, right? It's just a matter of choice. One more. I thought I was going to do two on this side, but my incense are down. I don't want to go too much over an hour. Oh, and then I get two cards. Ain't that a bitch? But nonetheless, we're going to take them, because this is an accelerated advancement here. That, just as I said, everyone has an invitation to. And you know, it starts with accepting the invitation to take that journey in whatever way it shapes out for you individually. And then, as always, like the Eight of Wands has been coming up a lot about this acceleration of advancement here, where as soon as you decide to get in the boat, you know, to get on board, literally and figuratively, the universe wants to get behind that, affirm it, approve it, advance it, protect it, ensure it, all of that. Like, that's the arc of safety here with the covenant between creation and divine. But you can't be out of covenant and still expect to be privileged to all of those spoils and benefits and privileges. Or did I say privileges already? I think so. Benefits. You know, that it doesn't work like that anymore. That's been fabricated and synthesized a great deal to an illusion of satisfaction that was temporary and fleeting, but those that have pledged themselves to that frequency are finding out in a very rude awakening sort of energy that wasn't, you know, that wasn't the source, and that there is a source and that it is accessible and available. But it's not, you can't infringe on it or seize it the way that you have been able to before. It's just not that, you know, that vulnerable or that just accessible. It never really was. That's the thing. It was the illusion of accessibility without merit, you know, that led a lot of folks into a pitfall. But again, there's light at the end, literally light at the end of the tunnel for those that will subscribe to it. And for those that refuse, well, the darkness is their delight, I suppose. But all of creation that is ordained to do so is advancing no matter what. No matter what. So, Tower. Wow. And it's bringing the pillars down on, this is the illusion of tradition, of convention that's been upheld as the standard for so long. Even the way of pursuing power and the mechanisms. And look, this represents the gatekeepers, the old gatekeepers. That's what that represents. And the false gates that are now being burnt to the ground, that no longer, you know, they only still are upheld by illusions at this point, and are empowered by those that refuse or are unable to perceive the truth of their what's the right word, of their condition, you know, to like see beyond the veil, literally, of the true nature of what's holding these pillars up, and to be able to see like the cracks in the foundation, to smell the smoke, you know, to see the chinks in the armor, the wizards behind the curtain type of energy. And we're speaking more energetically than actual, but of course there are human vessels that are upholding these frequencies, of course, that are all being expelled from their positions of power and authority, and are being, you know, demoted to the reality of their true essence, without all the bells and whistles and illusions and magical with that magician card and manipulative projections, without all the smoke and mirrors, ultimately. Yeah. So like I said, nobody's going to hell with you. The hell that you create for anyone is the one that you will inhabit all by yourself. And heaven is a community affair. You would want to share that experience with others, because it's just too amazing not to. And you, in this frequency, would want to share the misery of the hell you captivate yourself in with others, or to have some company there, and you won't be able to. It's a solo mission. Population of 1. Oh man, I think I like that. That might be the title. All right, anyway, thank you for listening and watching. Enjoy the rest of your night and have a powerful day tomorrow. I'll talk to you then on the other side. Until then, as always, I leave you with peace.